LoreWarrior Armour, Indra Infantry Transport. Overview. The Indra is heavily armed and armoured for its size and role. Though the two vehicles serve vastly different roles, a strong rivalry exists between crews of the Indra and the Zoya, based on the fact that the infantry transport is superior to the Zoya light tank in almost every area, though the opposite might be expected. Capabilities. The Indra is named for the Brahmanic archer god who wields a bolt of lightning, so the choice of an extended range PPC for the vehicle's main armament is particularly appropriate. The PPC mass is only 6 tons, but its huge power requirements and the resulting waste heat require the manufacturer to install almost as many mass again in heatsinks. Even with the added heatsinks, repeated firing of the fixed forward main gun can make the infantry compartment unbearably hot. One modification designed to compensate for this flaw involved installing a dedicated cooling circuit around the cargo bay, but this change ultimately made little difference. Anti-personnel defense comes from quadruple chain guns mounted in the micro turret. These provide devastating anti-infantry fire through 360 degrees, allowing the swift elimination of unarmored infantry, while smart targeting ensures minimal casualties among friendly troops. The turret weapons have also proven effective against armor and aircraft, fouling tracks, turret mechanisms and control surfaces to deadly effect, and far in excess of their commonly accepted anti-armor abilities. To give its passengers the best chance of arriving at their destination unhurt, the Indra carries 5 tons of ferrofibrous armor, with both front and sides well protected against a single hit by even the heaviest of weaponry. The turret and the rear are less well armoured, but they hold out against small arms and most anti-vehicle weapons. The weak link, as with all similar vehicles, is the drivetrain and the wheels, but the Indra's tyres contain a light armour weave and make use of the same self-healing gels, such as hard gel, used on warships and elemental suits, allowing them to repair any breach and re-inflate as needed. This system is effective against upwards of 50mm caliber weapon attacks, as the entry and exit holes produced by larger rounds are too large for the hard gel to provide a sufficient seal. Deployment. The most notorious inner sphere deployment of the Indra occurred on the world of Turtle Bay. When rioting broke out following the occupation, Clan Smoke Jaguar dispatched a number of vehicles to control the violence, using Indras to attempt to intimidate the population into submission. This ploy failed, and in the central marketplace of the city of Edo, the crowd actually attempted to seize control of 2 vehicles, prompting the crew to open fire. In less than a minute, the tanks killed nearly 500 people, escalating the situation to the extent that the Jaguar commander declared the situation insoluble and raised the city from orbit. So the Indra Infantry Transport, it's a 35-ton vehicle, it's wheeled, as we heard in the description. Its power plant is a Fusion 155. The cruise speed is 54 kph with a flank speed of 86. Armour is compound K4 ferrofibrous. It's armed with a single Type 22 extended range PPC and 4 Series 9 machine guns. It's manufactured by various different clans, and its communication system is the consolidated Type 21. Targeting and tracking is provided by the Series 6 kit. I wonder if that's like the one from Knight Rider. Anyway, internally, this means you have a vehicle that moves 5 and flanks at 8. It has 15 heat sinks to handle all of that excess heat from the ERPPC. And it gives it a armor value of 25 on the front, 20 on the sides, 14 on the rear, and 17 on the turret. So as it says, it can take a single hit from an AC-20 on the sides or the front and actually keep on trucking, though you wouldn't want to take much more after that, of course. It does at least allow the vehicle to survive a lucky hit, or to be charged by something as big as that before giving it an attempt at least to get away. I quite like it. Visually, it's basically a battle bus. It's obviously this long, extended vehicle, obviously capable of making insane kind of turns, but I like the setup. The rear firing machine gun there, as in a quad array, means that, yeah, it does get a pretty good field of fire, and you've got the ERPPC at the front to engage any heavier targets. Yeah, overall, not bad, not bad. I don't mind it. So the ERPPC, as it says, is in the front, obviously, and the 4 machine guns are counted as the turret, which is all the way at the back. Ammunition's carried in the body, as is the cargo. It doesn't, weirdly enough, it doesn't actually say how many infantry it can carry. The cargo was listed as 3 for tonnage. And other than that, it just has the battle force value. Yeah, sadly. It would be interesting to know just how many. Like, are we talking about several squads? Are we talking about like a company, or is it a battalion, or something like that? I can't remember which is larger or smaller, but I don't know. But it would have been interesting for them to at least note just how many it can pile in, because it looks like a very big vehicle. That's one thing I think it should have also been mentioned, is that it might be a bit unwieldy, especially getting this thing around certain terrain. I imagine this thing only operates in certain types of terrain, because I doubt you'd have this thing rumbling across let's see, kind of like moors type terrain, like highlands, that kind of thing, because it just doesn't really seem like the kind of area you'd have this thing on about. You'd probably use, obviously, like VTOLs to get infantry in, or maybe like hover vehicles, that kind of thing, to get them in. This doesn't seem like it's suited. This seems like it's suited for larger urban centres, you know, where the buildings aren't too close together and it can have plenty of room to get around. I can't help but feel that rules-wise it should, I don't know, should it occupy 2 hexes because of its length, kind of thing? I don't know. It would be interesting. I'm assuming if there's a mini, I haven't looked this up. I'll probably have a look afterwards, or one of you good folks down in the comments can mention if the miniature does actually come in 2 pieces, a bit like obviously the classic long tom train, for instance, where it comes in multiple parts. Because this looks like you would have the front part of the mini and then the back part to show the rear sort of section. So I do wonder if that's the case, because that would be an interesting quirk as well to the gameplay of turning the vehicle. You have like the 2 ends sort of following each other. Yeah, not a bad vehicle. Again, art's good from Matlog, and yeah, it's a sweet little thing. I haven't been. I'm just double checking to see. No, I don't think it doesn't mention how many infantry, like as a stat, as the vampire list stat. It doesn't mention any of that. So yeah, okay. Well, that's the Indra. Thank you everybody, as always, for joining me on my post video ramble. Well, hopefully the volume and everything is correct, and I'll get this right. Honestly, it's I've not been doing this for over 10 years now. Well, not LoreWarriors over 10 years, but nearly 10 years. The channel's 10 years. Jesus Christ. I should just pack this in, shouldn't I, really? Anyway, have a good one. See y'all. Bye.